Purchase your tracks today.
Sinner made a bang.
Purchase your tracks today.
Sinner made a bang.
Purchase your tracks today.
Sinner made a bang.
Testing 1 2 3 testing. Testing 1 2 3 testing.
Purchase your tracks today.
Sinner made a bang.
Purchase your tracks today. Purchase your tracks today. Purchase your tracks today.
Sinner made a bang.
Purchase.
Copyright disclaimer. This content does not belong to Bible Chronicles or claim this intellectual property. The content provided today has and always will belong to content owner. Bible Chronicles does not have any affiliation with the owner of this property. As mentioned, Bible Chronicles does not intend to make use of any material for the purpose of harvesting gain. However, Title 17 of the United States copyright law states material and use can only be done when it's for theological or general educational purposes, and thus Bible Chronicles believes that this principal material falls under fair use, which honors protection under Section 107 of the same U.S. copyright law. Hey, shalom, family, shalom. Good morning, everybody. Hope y'all are doing well. The two brothers or sisters that are watching, I appreciate y'all being here with me this morning. I wasn't gonna do a class. This was actually yesterday, right? Because I was really tired, man. I was really, really, really tired. But man, the Most High let me sleep today. You know what I'm saying? Like I had a good night's sleep, and He put it upon my spirit to kind of go deep on this, because the title is called A Heathen Rage. And look, I'm going to I like to touch on different subjects because I believe it's important. And what I also find is that the subjects that have to do with the examination and the growth, for some reason, our Hindu don't really watch them as much as the ones that have to do with slavery and the enemy. And it's like, man, come on, brothers. Excuse me. But anyhow, today's class is important. There's a lot, like I said, there's a lot going on. And unlike other channels that only target, I guess, a particular nationality, quote unquote, for lack of better words, I don't do that because we're all over the place. Okay. Which means that it's not just a so-called Mexican, struggle, or a so-called Puerto Rican struggle, or a so-called Chicano struggle, because even they don't think they're Mexicans. Yeah, even in the truth. Let's see, a so-called Cuban, Dominican. No, it's a combined struggle. Hey, Shalom, hermano. Always a pleasure to have you here, brother. I appreciate you very much, man. Dedicated to the word. That's what I say, bro. Show yourself approved unto the Most High and no one else. So that's why I focus on a lot of different tribes. So as I mentioned, I've been talking about Puerto Rico for quite some time, and then we're transitioning over to Peru a little bit. So I'm kind of doing that transition, and I do have something to just remind us. Let's not forget that this happens to every single one of us. Okay, so now let me make sure that I already did that. All right, so let's first of all, let's begin, okay? Because a lot of us are in politics, and this is why I'm doing it too. A lot of us are in politics, voting Republican or democratically, and when in fact they're not interested in our well-being, fam. Let's be sincere. This country is driven by money. That's all you are. Bottom line, they say it themselves. So let's allow. If they start trying to tell me I got to get off of this, Here, let me see if I can do it on YouTube. Then I'll move it back and forth because I don't want them to block me. All right. So let's begin. Here we go. And by the way, hey, shalom, sis. Is sound good? I hope sounds good. All right. Let me go.
Here for 20 years, and you need English is our first language, so you need to speak English.
I'm sorry about you, man.
Well, I'm sorry about you too.
Why?
Get the out of my country.
Hey, see? Do you only want a U.S. citizen?
No, I think you
So
are.
what? Oh, you. So now it's just because what I look. Do you see that's the problem?
No, I
That's
don't
in
have.
you. That's
I don't
in
have
your
any
mind.
problem with
That's
the way.
in your mind.
I don't have
So,
any problem with the way you look.
So
I don't have any
so what
problem
is your
with the way
problem?
you look.
I'm a U.S. citizen. What is your problem?
I don't have any
What
problem.
is your problem?
Will you shut up? I don't have any problem with the way you look.
I'm sorry.
You're in America. You need to speak English.
Say what I'm doing. What do you think I'm doing?
Racist, you're gonna leave.
Yeah, what do you
I
think
am not
I'm doing?
racist.
Hey, no, that's racist. This man takes care of me. You're gonna get out of here. You're gonna talk like that to him. Don't do
You know,
that here.
I'm gonna pay for what you got, okay? So can you please exit the restaurant, please? So I'm gonna pay. I'll take care of that. I take care of everything what you got, okay? Please.
So I got raped.
Please give.
I got raped by
Yeah.
illegal aliens.
Did you guys hear that? Wow. So it wasn't about the language. It's about what he looked like. You see that? They got raped by an illegal alien. Let's continue.
Oh, I got raped by illegal aliens. You can't speak English, and you want me to be nice to you?
Do you see?
Rapist.
Hey, that sounds like Trump. All right. We're not done. Hold on. Watch this real quick. That's one. Why do you keep popping up on this side? Sorry, fam. Why does it keep showing up on this side? Get quiet here.
A Salt Lake City restaurant right at the center of a very controversial viral video today says they fired a manager seen in that video.
It showed a confrontation involving the manager and an employee and her family. Fox 13's Lauren Steinbrecher joins us now to explain what unfolded in the video that the City Creek Eatery is now calling appalling.
Right, Bob. So the family says they were trying to translate for their mom to ask for a raise because their mom doesn't speak English fluently. What unfolded in that video next has sparked outrage online.
You don't see what comes before this,
I'm just trying to translate for my mom, and you're kicking me out.
but you can tell it's a conversation quickly turning sour.
You seriously just cost your mom her job.
At the City Creek Core Life Eatery Thursday afternoon.
Get the hell out of my restaurant right now. Get out.
Omar
Get out.
Fuentes says he started recording after he and his sister tried to translate for their mom to ask her manager about a raise they say she was told she'd get several months ago.
She needed help, and that's why we were there.
She didn't even let me finish asking the question. By the time she was already yelling at me and telling me to get out, and that I shouldn't be telling her what to pay her employees, and that if my mom has a problem with the pay, that she's the problem and she's the one that should leave and stuff like that.
Get out of my country. Leave my country. You don't tell me what to do because you're a spick. You're a beaner. That's it. That's simple. And you probably aren't even legal because somehow you made your papers legitimate. That's how they think.
Omar says he stepped in to ask the manager for corporate's number. When you see the manager fire back, speaking partly in Spanish.
You no más trabajo here. You're Nino, you're Nina, no bueno. They want to come in my restaurant, cause mucho drama. You no más.
I just wanted to get your...
Get them out of here. Now.
The manager fires Connie Fuentes Aguera, calls security, and trespasses the family from Core Life. The next day, after hundreds of thousands of views on social media,
She never told me why she was kicking us out.
We will not tolerate this type of behavior and have taken swift action.
Core Life apologized, said they've fired the manager, and reached out to the Fuentes family to give Connie her job back.
It's completely unacceptable. We don't like to see anybody treated that way.
Give Connie her job back. Wow. Scraps. Here's another one.
Say one more time, just for...
And again, this one's older. The one before is a couple years, and I think the one initially was a couple months. I've tried to find some recent, but honestly, man, this doesn't change. So it doesn't even matter how many years I go back. I can find new ones and it's still the same thing. But these were the ones that stood out to me the most because I do remember them. And they were basically attacking every single one of our tribes, the so-called Puerto Ricans, right? Or Borinqueños, the so-called Mexicans, and I don't know who the first one was, but I'm telling you, they went all across the board. Watch. I think this is a Boricua brother right here. Watch.
Say one more
You're
and explain what I did to you one more time.
talking that stupid Spanish around here
Speaking
when everybody
Spanish.
else is English speaking
right.
American.
But I'm speaking to my mother in Spanish because that's her language.
I don't give a shut up.
And out of nowhere, you just come out and say
Shut
something
up.
like that?
Shut up.
Wow, unbelievable. Mike, that is sad.
You.
So my family that's also all military, fought like you did,
I don't give a
lost limbs.
learn how to speak English.
Unbelievable.
Live in America.
I'm just as American as you are.
I
don't have
Leave me alone.
you don't have to put up with this. That's
Leave
the bottom
me
line.
alone.
I need an apology.
Shut up.
I will as soon as you apologize.
Shut up.
Sir.
What's going on? This guy's harassing me.
Hey, you see that? He said, this guy's harassing me. I never in the 59 seconds have I seen him harass him. I'm just saying.
Because he won't leave me alone. I'm telling him, leave me alone. He won't leave me alone. I don't need any trouble. Shut up!
Apologize.
You.
Apologize.
You apologize to me.
As soon
You apologize to me.
you
You freak.
you insulted my mother, you're gonna apologize.
And that's the reality. Let me read this real quick. The airport authority is deeply saddened to see this type of situation occur at our airport. It's nothing new. It says every passenger, regardless of race, religion, the language they speak, a nation of origin, sexual orientation, age, or sexual orientation. Let's go ahead and add that in there, by the way. Again, it's democracy, right? Demon craziness. Age or political belief is welcome at Reno Tahoe International Airport. Yada, 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 yada. All right. And then now this right here. I'm going to show y'all something. So I caught this, man. And this is for you One West campers, right? You so-called natives, you so-called Hispanics that are in these camps that are worshiping the Black Jesus, okay? That you want to, first of all, we have brothers and sisters that are dying to be white. And then now we got brothers and sisters that are basically dying to be Black. And they hate y'all. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I really try not to bring these things out, but it's like everywhere I look, man, I'm just reminded of it. Watch. And I don't do rap. I don't do rap music or nothing like that. I really like it a lot, especially political rap, right? Apparently, this guy here, and I found him because he was really going hard on the boulets, right? Which y'all know that I do classes on those guys. And they're the elitists making decisions for you so-called blacks and you so-called, I would say African Americans, you that do not believe that you are our people, okay? I'm talking about you guys, all right? So they're claiming that Latinos had nothing to do with rap music. And then you see on the left side here, you go, let's see, what does it say? I read something, man. These guys were going crazy. They said something about, those immigrants, they really are trying to convince them. Let me see something. Let's let it play a little bit.
Was already being done. DJ Mario and what he was doing wasn't nothing new. He was seeing the culture that was already taking place.
So watch this. And if you go forward, there you go, right there. Watch. Boom. Black Americans versus everybody. You see, there you go right there, Mr. Hispanic man. They're considering, I mean, shoot, they even put oh, yeah, that's right. He says, he calls those guys coons, right? That they're against their own people. But little does he know. But let's listen a little bit.
That's more Atlanta pop. But I know here in LA, we love the South. We've always loved the Ghetto Boys.
Look, I'm not going to look through this guy's information. All right. So y'all can listen to him later on if you like. But I'm telling you guys something here. Why does our gente feel the desire? Do y'all not realize how beautiful our heritage truly is? I mean, are we forgetting how we were raised, at least those that had some type of decency in their homes? You know, my house was pretty destroyed, but I mean, at least my mom wasn't so destroyed. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, let me see. Yeah, let me see. Let me read that real quick, brother. Let me read that real quick. It says, a lot of these guys who say that aren't from New York, Puerto Ricans and Morenos built that together in the Bronx. And you know, my sister's ex-husband, who happens to be still I still consider him my brother-in-law. He's Borinqueño, right? He was born in the Bronx, but his familia was born in Puerto Rico. So obviously my nephew, Eddie, you know what I'm saying? Like, and by the way, he is like really light skinned, man. You know what I'm saying? And blonde hair. Now I have some kids that have light skin, curly hair. I got some kids that have really like jet black hair. I tan really well. I can get light skin when I'm not in the sun. It just happens to be, right? So in like our culture, yeah. So check it, man. Puerto Ricans, Morenos built that together in the Bronx. So my brother-in-law was like, yo, listen, man, we had a lot to do with that music. If anything, we had a lot to do, if not everything, because apparently there's that salsa beat, that rhythm, you know, and again, I'm not an expert in this, man, but I find it's so weird that why are we trying to be someone else? Y'all have not even looked at the Bible. You don't even know your own proper history, and you're trying to be other nations or including other nations thereof. Like, you really are going to go there? Come on, man. Look, watch. Now, again, we're transitioning from Puerto Rico to Peru, okay? So I got something for y'all in Puerto Rico. The Brinks of Political Revelation.
This is Democracy Now!,
Check it out real quick.
democracynow.org, the Warren.
This is a few months back. No, this is 3 years ago. Which one's the one that it was a few months back? I'm going to run into the video that was a few months back. But check this out. This is still going on right now. And I think I do have the video. It was, what's her name? Ocasio was in it. All right, let me listen to it.
Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman.
And I'm Juan Gonzalez. Welcome to all of our listeners and viewers across the country and around the world. Protests are continuing in Puerto Rico days after mass demonstrations forced Governor Ricardo Rosselló to step down. It marks the first time in Puerto Rico's history that protests have toppled a sitting governor. Rosselló's last day in office is this Friday, but it remains unclear who will take his place. Justice Secretary Wanda Vázquez is next in line for the office, but on Sunday she said in a tweet, quote, "I have no interest in occupying the governor's post." However, on Monday, Vázquez's spokeswoman then did not rule out her becoming governor. On Monday, protesters gathered outside Vázquez's office calling for her to resign as Justice Secretary. This is Claudia Sofia Garriaga Lopez, who teaches at Cal State University in Chico.
I think that really what we're talking about here is beginning a process of decolonization for Puerto Rico. The system of the Fiscal Control Board, the odious debt that has been imposed upon the Puerto Rican people to pay for years on end, these are all mechanisms of colonization over Puerto Rico. And so we need to address those directly and move on to creating a more just system all over Puerto Rico and then in the United States as well. I think that part of what we see here is a great inspiration for the rest of the country to see that if we mobilize in large numbers, we don't have to wait for impeachment.
No, that won't happen. You know that, fam.
We don't have to wait for elections in 2020. We can move Trump out of the presidency as well as all of these other corrupt politicians who are taking advantage of their political position to enrich themselves and push forward policies.
I find that so, I don't want to say it because I know that our people suffer. It's like the ant telling the elephant to get out the way.
That benefit private corporations and definitely not the people of the United States or of Puerto Rico.
Claudia Sofia Garriga Lopez of California State University in Chico. The ongoing protests in Puerto Rico come as concern is growing that the political turmoil could lead to the Financial Oversight and Management Board seizing more power. The board is commonly referred to as La Junta in Puerto Rico. The unelected board runs much of Puerto Rico's affairs, approving any major.
Yeah, sis, it's for real. That's my point today too. That's why it's called a heathen rage. And then with a rage from them, well, guess what? We're starting to wake up. We're starting to see. Now, again, they don't have the truth just yet. Just yet. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we need to be very diligent in our studies so then we can reach out to our gente. Each individual one of y'all is a tree, and you're going to need to bear fruit. You understand why it's important to teach your family first? Let's go.
Major expenditures and budget decisions. It's also overseen a devastating austerity program. To talk more about the latest in Puerto Rico, we go to San Juan, where we're joined by Manuel Natal. He's an independent member of the House of Representatives of Puerto Rico. He's also a member of the growing grassroots organization, Victoria Ciudadana. That is Citizens Victory. Manuel Natal, welcome to Democracy Now! It's great to have you with us. So last week, mass protests ousted the governor, Governor Rosselló. He says he will leave on Friday, but has yet to name a replacement since the Secretary of State had resigned in the same text scandal.
So it has to do something with personal stuff, but you kind of wonder about how politics are and politicians, man. Again, I don't get into it anymore, but I find it very interesting. Now, there is still a fight and debate going on, which we're going to touch on the last video, and it's basically a group called La Junta. So they're trying to determine whether Puerto Rico can be an actual state or state commonwealth. Some people agree, some people disagree. So anyhow, let's go to Ezekiel chapter 17. All right. I was reading this morning, and then it triggered literally the rest of the class. And we're going to read from 1 to 10. All right. Let me read it. And it says, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, put forth a riddle and speak a parable unto the house of Israel. Okay. Then it says, and say, thus say the Lord, a great eagle with great wings, long winged, full of feathers, which have diverse colors, came unto Lebanon and took the highest branch of the cedar. He cropped off the top of its young wing twigs and carried it into a land of traffic. He set it in a city of merchants. He took also of the seed of the land and planted a fruitful field. He placed it by great waters and set it as a hollow tree. Right? Verse 6. And it grew and became spreading vine of low stature, whose branches turned towards him, and the roots thereof were under him. And it became vine and brought forth branches and shot forth sprigs. Verse 7. There was also another great eagle with great wings and many feathers. And behold, this vine did bend her roots towards him, and shot forth her branches towards him, that he might water it by the furrows of her plantation. Okay? Now, it was planted in a good soil by great waters, that it might bring forth branches, and that it might bear fruit, that it might be a goodly vine. Verse 9, say though, thus say the Lord God, shall it prosper? Shall he not pull up the roots thereof, and cut off the fruits thereof, that it wither? It shall wither in all leaves of her spring, even without great power, or many people to pluck it up by the roots thereof. Yea, behold, being planted, shall it prosper? Shall it not utterly wither? When the east wind touch it, it shall wither the furrows where it grew. That east wind, who came from the east, family? Who came from the east? Deuteronomy 28:49. The east wind is also a metaphor in regards to a nation. It isn't just in the win-win-win, so to speak. And these two examples that I'm giving y'all is the nation of Israel. The Most High planted them both, but guess what? They chose to go their own route. And then now, what's going to happen? Most High is leaving the east wind there. Guess what's happening when it says, even without the great power of many people plucked it up by the roots thereof, right? Now, it mentioned furrows. Watch this real quick. It says, it is my desire that I should chastise them, and the people shall be gathered against them. And when they shall bind themselves in their two furrows. The furrows are important, family. We have to plant ourselves properly. I've read this book before, and I don't ever want to pass it because this happened to every single one of our nations, okay? And again, this is regarding the prohibition of the Bible in the Americas, except in the northern part. If you go to September 7th, 1900, this is from the Lutheran Witness. Here, let me put up the link on the chat. There you go, fam. Y'all can look it up. You want to look up September 17th. I'm sorry, September 7th, 1900, right here. Okay? Abroad. And let's see if I can magnify it. It may not let me. I've read this before, but the link is there. If y'all can go to September 7th, 1900, and it would be on page 55. This is like a magazine article type. I bought the book, right? Very interesting. So in that section, it talks about the prohibition of the Bible. Okay? Keep in mind that in the Americas, a lot of our gente was not literate in that year. 10% maybe. The wealthy for sure. All up until 1940, 50, and 60, we started seeing a transition in educational growth, right? Literacy grew. But we were still finding ourselves listening to church or services in Latin. And I remember the last service, I was 4 years old. I heard it in Latin. Oh, hold on. Let me magnify this. Oh, y'all look through that link. Because I can't magnify it, so I didn't realize it would actually do that. I'm not going to read it, because then I'm just going to read it. I want y'all to confirm everything that I show y'all. There's absolutely nothing that I don't want y'all to verify. This is not that channel here. We don't do that, okay? So just make sure you guys have that link. Now let's go to Sirach. So keep in mind that for a long time, we haven't had the Bible. We have not had the Bible for a long time, okay? But the Most High is chastising us so then we can bind ourselves in our two furrows. All right? Remember, we're trees planted. In that case, he looked at us like an example of an eagle, and he planted it. And the eagle went, and the twigs grew. But guess what? The Most High didn't let it. Why? Because of our iniquity. Sirach 34:9, watch what it says. A man that had traveled knoweth many things, and he that had much experience will declare wisdom. So you brothers and sisters that are teaching the Bible and you haven't really traveled much, man. You haven't even gone out your state, or let alone this country. You lack wisdom. If you haven't traveled much outside of anywhere else, then how would you be able to relate? Paul went everywhere. He that hath no experience knoweth little, but he that had traveled is full of prudence. I'm going to show you something, all right? I'm going to tell y'all something real quick. Let me see something. Let me read this real quick, brother, real quick. That's what I thought, coward. That's why I blocked your punk. I don't know who that is. Blocked your. Yeah, I don't know who that is, fam. But I'll let him hang around. Anyhow, hey man, you know what? It's good. We got haters now, man. I guess the truth is coming out. All praises. You know how it is. It says, a man. Let's see, where am I at? 7. Verse 6, 7. Yeah, verse 9. Let's go to 9 again. A man that had traveled knoweth many things, and he that had much experience will declare wisdom. He that had no experience knoweth little, but he that had traveled is full of prudence, right? So when I travel, I sell many things and I understand more than I can express. That's why it's important to learn about our tribes. Like some of us that are not traveling, fine. Well, I'm bringing you, our gente, to your face that we're all going through issues. How can we connect with our gente if we cannot talk about what they're going through? This makes no sense. Okay? So I would highly recommend y'all, if you're not traveling, you might want to consider moving around just a little bit and communicating with people that you feel that at least can relate to you and have a chance to talk to you. All right? Where is this? I wrote this one wrong. Let me see something. But I had this. That's why. Ecclesiastes 5:8. So when you're traveling around, right? And you're going to see a lot of this heathen rage. Ecclesiastes 5:8. If thou seest the oppression of the poor and violent perverting of judgment, which we see, and justice in providence, is it right for all of a sudden now the so-called white man or the elitist to go and invest money in Puerto Rico to then scatter our gente and make it very unaffordable? If thou seest the oppression of the poor and violent perverting of judgment and at justice and at providence, marvel not at the matter. Why? For he that is higher than the highest regarded it. It's being watched. But at the same time, marvel not, because guess what? It's our fault. Did we keep the laws of God? No. Did we honor our parents? No. And for you that want to come over here and debate on this channel, I don't debate on this channel, man. I don't debate on this channel. I got my phone number right there on this channel right here. Y'all want to talk to me? Call me. I don't do super chats. I don't need attention. I'm here to show our people who they are according to the Bible. If you want to talk like men, you have my phone number. Talk like men. This is not a show. Randolph, Home Inspector Extraordinaire, Mr. White Man. Okay? So I already know who you are. I have people that do the due diligence on you. You think I'm a simple man. You don't know who I am. Anyhow, if thou see the oppression of the poor and violent perverting of judgment and justice and providence, marvel not at the matter. Don't be ignorant to the cause, family, because what's going on right now is going on everywhere. Look, watch this. I told you we're transitioning from Puerto Rico to Peru, right? This is in limaeasy.com. Here's the link. Put it right there. Matter of fact, I'll try to do that from now on. I'll try to shoot you guys the links. All right, and it reads, Peru. Here, let me see if I can magnify it. Oh, hold up. There it goes. Peru signed to, let me go right here. Peru's laws protect all citizens from racism and discrimination. At first glance, yes, Peru has numerous laws in place to protect citizens. Yada, yada, yada. To begin with, the Article 2.2 of Peruvian Constitution clearly stipulates every person has a right to equality before the law, right? We've read stuff like this. Racism and discrimination in Peru might not be that apparent. Rather, it's a little bit subtle and hidden. But nevertheless, if you open your eyes, you see it's in omnipresent, rooted in social behavior and outright despicable. Even though Peru prioritized the fight against racism, discrimination, and intolerance for years, unfortunately, nothing really changes. It's very true. Watch this. Actually, since the Spaniards arrived in present-day Peru, colonizing the country and installing their viceroyalty, racism is an issue. Peru has a large mixed race indigenous population, as well as countless immigrants from Africa, Asia, and Europe. All right, so we know a little bit about that, as you can see, right? So it says here, but quite the opposite in this case. The society is divided in several social classes similar to caste system, where not only your skin color, but also your descent. Watch this. All right, so let's go over this, guys, because I think we need to be very clear. All right, let's not be confused and be silly doves. You see this so-called caste system? It's not a caste system like as in they mix. See, we were told that we mix. No, it's not. Watch this. Español con India. Mestizo con español. Supposedly, right? Castizo con española. Español con mora. You see this? Español con mora. So who's the mora? Who's the español here? Mularo con española. Who's the morisco? Aren't the Moors from Spain? Moriscos con española. Chino. Chino con indio. There wasn't a mixture, fam. We didn't mix like this. The Moors, the Sephardic Jews, all of them, those dark-skinned ones and light-skinned ones. See, because in case y'all don't know this, people, in Mexico, the Sephardic Jews are well known to study the Talmud. And they don't believe in the Messiah. So, is that what you believe in? If you believe in this, there's a lot of them over in Mexico. So that's why when you see people like that look like us, they're not us. And some people that don't look like us, they may be us. This is not the time to use your eyes to determine that. Yes, you need to understand who the enemy is in general, but you also have to deal with people individually. Like salvation is individually, but we have to collectively have salvation. It makes sense. So this caste system, guys, it wasn't mixing. It was Moriscos, Sephardic Jews, natives of our gente, Africans, whites. That's what it was. That's all it was. And this is how they separate us, by creating an imaginary vision that isn't true. It's all social class, all because of skin tone. And it really falls on just money, man. White is still beautiful and successful. We know that. In Mexico, it happens all the time too. Watch this real quick. This is crazy, man.
And in Peru, private TV remains the targets of protests across the country. Our correspondent Raul Mora explains.
Indigenous women from the Americas held a press conference in Lima to denounce the reinstatement of a private TV program called Peasant Jacinta. Participants at the press conference are in Peru, meeting in preparation for the next Beijing World Conference on Women next September. At the press conference, Maria Choque from the UN Forum on Indigenous Issues described the show as backward and the vestige of colonialism.
One cannot believe that colonialist viewpoints still exist. This is a racial, discriminatory, and colonialist focus. It's a focus on racial discrimination. I believe we have overcome these debates in the United Nations system with the arrival of the first indigenous groups to those discussions.
Speakers at the conference criticized the TV channel which airs the show, accusing it of using racist topics to increase viewership. The UN Economic Commission for Latin America and the Caribbean supported the event against the program.
Governments have to make sure that the means of communication properly reflects Indigenous cultural diversity. Of course, this means not having racist representations and eliminating all forms of discrimination and racism.
Other speakers called for spaces in media where they can put forward their struggles as Indigenous women and also how their ancestral knowledge has been a positive contribution to the general society. The show is also one of the targets of recent popular marches protesting Peruvian TV as trashy. Rael Mora, Telesur, Lima.
And that's still going on, unfortunately, when it comes to like our situation with our people. Now we wonder sometimes, like, why is this happening? You know what I'm saying? So for all you that may be new to this, Psalms 147, watch what it says. Verse 19. He showed his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He had not dealt so with any nation. And as for his judgments, he says it twice. They have not known them, meaning the curses, they don't know them. They're not going through what we're going through. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Verse 16 through 68 is literally saying that. Let's go to verse 36. The Lord shall bring thee and thy king, which thou set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known. There shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone. Are we not doing that? Are they not basically lording over our people? Are we not in astonishment? Verse 37, and thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword. Are they not making fun of us? Did they not tell us, stop speaking Spanish? Are they not showing some woman that looks like a man making fun of our sisters? Do we not go through bywords every single time? We're in astonishment and not in a very wonderful way. What are you speaking Spanish for? Get out of my country. Verse 20. The Lord shall send against thee cursing. Is it not a curse? Get out of my country, man. Vexation and rebuke. That would piss me off. In all that thou settest thine hand on to do. Didn't those brothers and sisters get kicked out of the restaurant when they were trying to do something for their mom? Until thou be destroyed, until thou perish quickly, because of the wickedness of thy doings, whereby thou hast forsaken me. All of this is right there, obviously, in our phrase. Let me remind you guys of something. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments. And there it goes again. So he has given us the goodness, and he also told us what would happen if we don't follow the laws. Even as the Lord, my God, commanded me that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. But we didn't. We didn't, and we chose to listen to other nations. For that nation is so great. For what nation is there so great, who had God so nigh unto them, as the Lord our God is in all things that we should call upon for him? Do people even realize that we're the children of God? No. Hosea 1:10, yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, right here. Y'all are not Israelites. Y'all are Puerto Ricans, Mexicans. What are you talking about, man? We made you guys. We created y'all. We created you guys. You know, like you're a mixture of Spanish and English and native. Isn't that what they tell us? And it shall come to pass that in that place where what it was said unto you, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto you, ye are the sons of the living God. Are we not saying this to y'all now? I'm not the only one doing this. Hey, I might not agree with other brothers in their channels, but at least they're teaching. Just don't teach the wrong thing. That's all I'm saying. Matter of fact, if I was you, just teach the laws. Don't go into other things that you don't know about. You're stretching too far. You're stretching you far too thin, and you got your own hand to confusing themselves, and now all of a sudden disagreeing with you. This is actually said in Peter, by the way. You guys can precept that. 1 Peter 2:9. But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a peculiar people. We're very different, guys. That ye should show forth the praise of him who had called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. Which one's the one I'm looking for? Let's see, 2 Peter, 1 Peter 10? No. Yeah. Hello. Which in the time past were not a people, but are now the people of God, which had not obtained mercy, but now had obtained mercy. That's why the class about Abraham, I did that. Abraham wasn't circumcised. Abraham didn't know nothing about the Most High when he was born, when he was a child, because his dad was all up in idolatry. So we were not a people, but we have mercy because we are of Abraham. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. We were given the actual mercy because we were given the laws and because we were given the judgment. And we're paying for it right now. We go to First Tim. Oh, what did I do that for? First Timothy chapter 4, verse 1. Now the Spirit speak expressly that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. Are we not being told that we're once black? Is that not seducing us to become other people like other nations? Learn not the way of the heathen. I'll come back to this real quick. I thought about this one right now. Proverbs 3:31. Envy not the oppressor and choose none of his ways. Did we forget that they are also involved in the slavery of 1492? The white man didn't come by himself. I've showed you guys enough material. Why are we being told to be somebody else that we're not? Envy not the oppressor and choose none of his ways. Why? Because we know that 1 Timothy 4:1. Now the Spirit speaketh expressly. The Bible is saying that in the latter times some shall depart from faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. Now we want to say that we're what? We're trying to reach so far that now we want to include other nations that enslaved us. So now what? Our own people enslaved? Where does that say that in the Bible? Oh, please, don't give me that response. Please don't give me that response because this is so silly. I'm not even going to mention it. Speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron. And even till this very day, right? Now we see doctrines of devils forbidding to marry, commanding to abstain from meat. Oh, Lent Friday or Good Friday or whatever, you can't eat meat, you can only eat fish. What does it say that in the Bible? It doesn't. So we have now a nation of people who have also completely confused our gente, and some of us that are going around believing this stuff. Doctrines of devils. I mean, we've been through this already. My so-called Hispanic brothers and sisters that are in these Christian churches. This is Christianity right here. If you read Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2, all the way through verse 8 or 9, this is Christianity. I'm going to read it quick because I don't have to break it down. It literally says what Christianity is. They say that we live once and then we die and we go to hell or heaven. Okay? They believe in science. Watch this. Wisdom of Solomon 2:2. For we are born at all adventure, and we shall be hereafter as though we had never been. For the breath in our nostrils is a smoke and a little spark in the moving of our hearts. Doesn't science teach that? We're just like a matter, neurons or atoms or something. Which being extinguished, our bodies shall will turn into ashes, and our spirit shall vanish as the soft air, and our names shall be forgotten in time, and no man shall have our works in remembrance, and our life shall pass away as the trace of a cloud, and shall be dispersed in the mist that is driven away from the beams of the sun, and overcome with heat thereof. They don't believe in regeneration. They don't believe that the spirit relives again, even though the Bible says otherwise. For our time is very shadow that passeth away, is a very shadow that passeth away, and after our end there is no returning, for it is fast sealed, so no man cometh again. Come on now, therefore, let us enjoy the good things that are present. Let us speedily use the creature like as in youth. Come as you are. God loves the sinner, not the sin. So be the sinner, but just don't sin. That's confusing, right? Let us fill ourselves with costly wine and ointments. Let no flower of spring pass by us. Isn't promiscuousness very, very prominent in Christianity? Has that changed in these black Hebrew Israelite camps? No. Let us crown ourselves with rosebuds before they be withered. Let none of us go without his part of our voluptuousness. Let us leave tokens of our joyfulness in every place, for this is our portion. This and our lot is this. Don't they go? Didn't you see a video yesterday in Puerto Rico? They were trying to go and trying to find our chicas. Oh, there's very good looking chicas. But they sure as hell do this. Let us oppress the poor and right. Let us oppress the poor righteous man. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient grays hairs of the age. Have they not been doing this? Let our strength be the law of justice. Hey, you in Puerto Rico, get out. We're going to buy this land. You can't afford it. Oh, well, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. We're feeble. We're nothing worth to them. Therefore, let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn. He is clean, contrary to our doing. Aren't we saying this in Puerto Rico? Mejor que se vayan. They're colonists. He upbraided us with his offending the law. That's right. We don't want to live your customs anymore. We want the laws of God back in our spirit again. And objected to our infamy, the transgressions of our education, which is one of them. I'm going to show you right now. Here's one of their educations. I was even going to go way ahead of this, but watch.
As we celebrate Pride and the progress we've made over these past years, there's still work to be done. So to those of you out there who are still working against equal rights, we have a message for you.
You think we're sinful? You fight against our rights. You say we all lead lives you can't respect. But you're just frightened. You think that we'll corrupt your kids if our agenda goes unchecked. Funny, just this once, you're correct. We'll convert your children. Happens bit by bit, quietly and subtly, and you will barely notice it. You can keep them from disco, warn about San Francisco, make them wear pleated pants, we don't care. We'll convert your children. We'll make them tolerant and fair.
Therefore, let us wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn. He is clean, contrary to our doing. He upbraideth us with our offending the law, and objective to our infamy, the transgressions of our education. Is that not democracy? Are they not trying to educate our children? Is it not the so-called white man and the so-called black man and their families pushing this transgressional crap? Are not the basketball players allowing their children to dress like women? Do we not see these actors and actresses? You don't see the so-called Hispanics doing this. At least not pushing it like this. He professed to have the knowledge of God. Yeah, we do. He called himself the child of the Lord. We're doing that now. He was made to reprove our thoughts. Damn right we are. He is grievous unto us to behold, for his life is not like other men's. His ways are of other fashions. We are esteemed of him as counterfeits. You guys are. You're not the Hebrews, Mr. Black Hebrew converts. And you, Mr. White man, guess what? He abstaineth from our ways as from filthiness. Yes, we don't want to live like the Greeks, the Romans. We don't want that. He pronounced the end of the just to be blessed and make it boast that God is his father. Yeah, you know why? Because we're going through the judgments. Verse 20, Psalms 147, verse 20. He had not dealt so with any nation, and as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord. Yeah, I'll praise it to the Most High for that. They don't know them. Fortunately, and well, unfortunately, because we're the ones that it's painful. Ecclesiastes 3:15. Let me try to finish up real quick. Ecclesiastes 3:15. Watch what it reads. It says, "That which has been is now, And that which is to be hath already been. And God required that which is past. Y'all gonna pay. You're gonna pay. You owe it. Just like we do. We have judgments on us, right? Well, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword shall be killed with the sword. Revelations 13:10. Ecclesiastes 1:4. One generation passeth away, the other generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever. So keep that in mind. Family, the world is not going to end. We will be the ones before that happens. Okay? Romans chapter 15, verse 4. I like the scripture a lot. It's brought out a lot, honestly. And it's because we need it. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. Those videos, they might be 2 or 3 years old, but guess what? It continues to happen. And now with the Bible, we have comfort. I have comfort. I might look mad, but it bothers me. It's painful. I cry. I ain't gonna lie, I cry. I'm an adult, and I admit it. I cry when I see this to my gente. You damn right, I'm gonna feel it. That's my mom. That's my dad. That's my brother. That's my sister. That's how I see it. I don't know about y'all. You see, where I was born, that's why for all you that say, oh, well, I can see the person. And if you're new to this truth, you are not in a position to be discerning people. If I were you, I would just shut up and sit down. Because look, where I come from, we had a variety of features. People that look like me, people that look lighter skin, people that look like Canelo Alvarez, people that look like what's the guy's name? The new actor. He's doing Wakanda. Very, very, very tan brother. I love that brother, man. We have a variety of them. Curly hair, straight hair, big eyes, little eyes, kind of Asian looking. I have cousins that look kind of Asian. I have cousins that look Arabic. I have cousins that look native. You are not in the position to discern spirits. Stop trying to judge people by the way they look. That's not what I'm teaching. I'm generalizing what is going on, but it's up to you to discern the individual. And it's up to you to discern what I'm teaching. For what was written aforetime was written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. That is also when you're learning from somebody. Now, the God of patience and consolation grants you to be like-minded one towards another, according to Christ Jesus, the Messiah, that ye may be one mind and one mouth glorify God, even the Father of our Lord Jesus. That's why I say, confirm what I say to y'all. I'm not telling you this to all of a sudden, oh, yes, Master. Sure, man. No, man, you got to confirm it, because I want you to either be like-minded or not. That's why I don't agree with other people trying to teach this other stuff that it's like just new. Like, bro, really? You don't even know who you are, and you're not an expert. 100% guaranteed you know nothing about Mexico, Central America, or South America in detail. Guaranteed. I know more than you, and I'm not an expert. Man, the audacity. Yes, I used the word. I did. The audacity. Habakkuk 1:4. Watch what he reads. Therefore, the law is slacked. Meaning, there's a lot of people that are teaching it right. And there's a few people that are teaching it right. And there's a lot of people that are teaching it wrong. And judgment doth never go forth. That's why you got brothers over there on your channel. You want to come over here and debate me. You got brothers over here wondering, like, what are you teaching now? We already went through this with the white man. We already went through this with the so-called black man. Now we're going to want to go through this with the so-called Hispanic? Come on, man. Therefore, wrong judgment proceedeth, for the wicked doth compass about the righteous. Don't be fooled, brothers and sisters. When the Spirit of the Most High leaves you, it leaves you. And there's nothing you can do about it. No debating is going to help. No super chats are going to define you anymore. You stepped in mud. You stuck in it. So family, let me remind you, therefore the law is slack. So what are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do? Confirm. 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 For I inquire, I pray thee of the former age, and prepare thyself to search of thy fathers. Joshua 1:8. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then shalt thou make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Sometimes I have to remind myself not to be in the book because I have a family. That's how heavy it is for me. And I'll praise this to the Most High God. Why? Because of this. Because the Most High gave us the law, statutes, and commandments. I'm going to read it again. Psalms 147:19. He showed his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He had not dealt so with any nation. And as for his judgments, they have not known them. So when I read that, and then I read this in Jeremiah, I pray for you, brothers and sisters, because I hope that you see what I see. Jeremiah 18:17, I will scatter them. Jeremiah 18:17, I will scatter them as with an east wind before the enemy. You see that? The east wind. I will show them the back and not the face in the day of their calamity. See that? I will scatter them as with an east wind before the enemy. Did he not use the enemies to scatter us? You guys are probably wondering, like, what kind of God is he, right? Man, we don't know him. You have no clue about our Father. Isaiah 55:8. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, say the Lord. We have no idea who he is or what he's like. So family, I want y'all to be very mindful and very careful because we're dealing with witchcraft, okay? We're dealing with witchcraft. What you got to say, sis? Let me read that. Let me read that real quick. Hold on. Oh, it's not showing up on my end yet. Okay, I'm going to read it on this end. Last year, I went to one of the caves here on the island. It was called Rikiti. And I sat there with a lot on my mind. I saw water coming out from the barranca and cried because of scripture I know. All praises. Hey, the Most High deals with each one of us differently. You know what I'm saying? So I don't deny it because he uses obviously angels to communicate, and in your dreams when you're sleeping, that's when you tend to communicate. A lot of that happens to me. That's why I wake up and I'm like, oh, yep, boom, let's do it. So I'll praise it, sis. Let me go back to 1 Samuel 15. Watch what it says here. It says, for rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. You brothers and sisters that are in these One West camps, okay? I'm going to read this to you. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and the stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. What I'm trying to show you, brothers, is, shoot, man, confirm me or debunk me. Say, you know what, Emmanuel, you're wrong, bro. You're wrong here, you're wrong here, you're wrong there. And I'll listen. Because you know what, man, I ain't trying to teach something that's not of the Most High. But I keep finding myself in the same place. For rebellion is as a sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is that iniquity and idolatry. Y'all are being stubborn, man. Just study the stuff. And you two brothers that are trying to say that, oh, now I'm not no northern or southern. Now I'm whatever. Man, y'all are stubborn, man, and that's a sin. All I'm saying is do your homework before you go and teach it. You don't even know anything about Mexico. Nothing. Just be frank. You even say yourself that you don't look like a Mexican. I didn't say that. You said that. And you even have brothers hitting you up like, what? ¿No ves el nopal en tu frente, hermano, o qué? Because thou hast rejected the word of God, he has also rejected thee from being king. And see that mindset. The king is the mindset. Kingdom. Renewing of the mind. Kingdom. It's all relative, man. All of it. All of it. Y'all got to be mindful what the hell is up in that cranium of yours. And if it's given by the Most High, then you definitely are special man and a special woman. Sirach 4:17. For at first she will walk with him by crooked ways and bring fear and dread upon him and torment him with her discipline until she may trust his soul and try him by her laws. And that's what we're trying to do, because we know for a fact that this world does not belong to us. Not now. Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. We know that. And we know who the wicked is. And I don't even have to explain it anymore. We know because we see who takes advantage of it right now. In Puerto Rico, ¿qué está pasando? Lamentations 5:1. I like this chapter. Remember, O Lord, what has come upon us. Consider and behold our reproach. Our inheritance is turned to strangers, our houses to aliens. Is that not true? We have drunken our water for money. Our wood is sold unto us, verse 4. Our necks are under persecution. We labor and we have no rest, verse 5. Is that not true? We have given the hand to the Egyptian. Yeah. Commonwealth country. Now they're like, okay, well, we want to be a state. I don't know. Ecclesiastes 10:7, it reads, I have seen servants upon horses, princes walking on servants upon the earth. I have seen servants upon horses. I mean, seriously, guys. It's on the obvious. Let's stay in this book. Let's go to 9:3. This is an evil among all things. This is an evil among all things that are done under the sun. And there is one event unto all. Yea, also the heart of the sons of men is full of evil. The madness is in their heart while they live. And after they go to the dead, it doesn't stop. Ecclesiastes 4:1. So I returned and considered all the oppression that are under the sun, and behold, the tears of such as were oppressed, they had no comforter. And on the side of their oppressor, there was power, but they had no comforter. We see that. We see that. Unfortunately, our gente don't know about the truth so far. Ecclesiastes 10:5, there is an evil which I have seen under the sun, as an error which proceedeth from the ruler. Folly is set in great dignity, and rich sit in low places. They wait. They wait. They wait for our fall. I'm telling you, man, y'all need to be very mindful. Matthew 10:28. And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul. Again, fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul, but rather fear him which is able to destroy both the soul and body in hell. You brothers that are in these camps trying to be black, y'all need to wake up. You family that's trying to be white, y'all need to wake up. And you brothers that are teaching that some other nation is our gente that oppressed us, maybe that's who you are. And that's fine. But that means you're not our gente. So now you're walking in mud. And now you're going to see our gente start heaving you up like, whoa. Because see, us that were born over there and that have familia there and that actually know our history, we know that they're not our people. But silly dubs will be silly dubs, I guess. If the shoe fits, put it on. 1 Corinthians 2:14. I'm almost going to finish, guys. 1 Corinthians 2:14. It reads, but the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of God, for they are foolishness unto him. Neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned. So what I'm saying, if you get offended, anybody, then you're not spiritually discerning it. Romans 7:14, for we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin. Because verse 23 says, But I see another law in my members warring against the law of my mind, bringing me into captivity to the law of sin, which is in my members. So are we not obligated to separate ourselves from that? Should we not bethink ourselves and start repenting to the Most High? Why are we so focused on, oh, well, this nation's over here and, oh, this nation's over there? Why? We have our people right here, right now, in our suffering at this very moment. What suffering do they go through? Why are we so concerned to reach so far when our own people here? Oh, I know why. Because maybe some of y'all have been beaten up or affected by people that look like you, and all of a sudden you assume, oh, yeah, you see, then you don't know the Bible. Stop saying you know the Bible if you still think you're half something. You're not half something. Proverbs 24:16, Proverbs 24:16, Proverbs 24:16. I don't want to forget because I just thought about it. For a just man falleth 7 times and riseth up again, but the wicked shall fall into mischief. So you brothers and sisters that might have just fell off, hey, listen, man. This is love right here. I'm trying to tell y'all, wake up, man. Get away from this. Do not be influenced by simpleness. You got to do the homework. Unless it's filthy lucre now, unless it's all driven by money, now that things are better, that may be it. That only goes so far. Sirach 5. Set thy heart upon thy goods and say not, I have enough for my life. Follow not thy own mind and thy strength to walk in the ways of thy heart, and say not, who shall control me from my works? For the Lord will surely revenge thy pride. Be mindful, pride, arrogance. What's the other word? I'm looking for pride, arrogance, and stubbornness. Say not, I have sinned, and what harm had happened to me? For the Lord is long-suffering. He will in no wise let thee go. Listen, you guys that claim to use the scriptures and you want to apply all the laws of God, what about Matthew 18? What about Leviticus 19? What about the simple ones? Is that not part of the laws? Is that not part of the moral, civil, ceremonial? Right? Is it not civil? No, it's not. Apparently, y'all don't care about that. No. You're quick to cut off your own gente. 1 John 5:3. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. That's keeping the laws of God right there. So now let's finish it with this. In family, I'm gonna let it play, and then I'm gonna head out because I do have stuff to do today. So love y'all, family. Appreciate y'all listening in. It is somewhat of a, I guess, shorter class. I just wanted to make sure that I would. Oh, that's right. I almost forgot. No. I almost forgot. My bad. My bad. Sorry, my bad. Almost forgot. Ooh-wee. I'm glad the Most High made me look to my left. It's regarding Puerto Rico. Watch. It's been going on for quite some time. Let me see real quick. This is from a book called War Against All Puerto Ricans. It says, after October 30th, after the October 30 revolts, mass arrests filled the prisons with 3,000 prisoners for the next few months. The number gradually diminished after trials were held, and some prisoners, generally better financed, let me magnify this, gradually diminished. Some prisoners, generally better financed, were found innocent. The week before Christmas 1950, the dungeons were still stuffed to capacity. One man was insane. He counted internally as he had for the past 6 months, 47, 48, 49, 47, 48, 49, 47, 48, 49. Another man sat hunched in a corner, weighed 110 pounds, was starving. Third man was only 20 years old. He had a slender, boyish body, big brown eyes guarded with long, dark lashes. 2 inmates had died fighting over him. Wow. They were raping him. Sad, man. Fourth man would make a cord out of his pants and hang himself on Thanksgiving. Fifth man lived in Puerto Rico, upheld upland gecko, He fed it dozens of bed bugs every day and let it crawl over him, all over him. He also talked and sang to it. This man was a murderer. The sixth man, a U.S. Army doctor had convicted a sixth man named Hector to swallow some new pills for weeks. He started vomiting and developed bloody diarrhea, then liver cancer. Hector belonged in a hospital, but La Princesa didn't want any bad publicity, so he went into the dungeons. The army doctor never returned. Hector's neighbors was insane and smeared feces all over dungeons number 7. Over the dungeon number 7. Social worker in dungeon number 8 was on the process of losing his mind. He played no part in the revolution. He was at work when it broke out in October 30th, and he was not a nationalist. Unfortunately, Deusdedit was a socialist, which was close enough for an insular police. In the 9th dungeon, Francisco Patos Pauli was a nationalist and a prolific poet. A few friends sent him cigarettes and cigars, which he had bartered with the prison guards for pencils. He wrote every day, snuck a pen, cigars, yada. Separated from everyone in the 15th dungeon was a small man with fiery brown eyes, wet towel wrapped around his head. For several days, his legs had been black and his gums were bleeding. 59-year-old and exhausted beyond measure, he paced silently up and down, always same 5 steps back and forth, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and turn. An interminable shuffle between the wall and the door of the cell. He had no work, no books, nothing to write on. And so he walked. And so he walked. Family. You know what, man? He's just teaching something else, bro. I don't know. Let me get that for you, Eastside. Psalms, yeah, and he came over here and tried to do that. It's because I had told him to answer the question on his site. But I don't do debates, man. And quite frankly, I don't want to, because I'm going to be real with y'all, man. I will smash people. And I don't want division in our gente. Nor do I want to destroy the spirit. Because if we debate, then I'm going to tell you, if I beat you, you're going to never teach this again. That's the kind of debate I do. If you tell me and you show me that I'm wrong, I will stop teaching. Let's be real now. Why with this game? It's like a boxing match, man. You want to fight? All right. If I beat you, I'm the champ. Stop trying to claim you are. So in this case, if y'all debate, then whoever loses stops teaching. But they won't, because it's all super chats and attention. That's all it's about. Psalms 118:8. It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in a man. Brother, man, you in the spirit, bro. That's very true. That's so true. Watch this. Now let's go ahead and finish it, family. Love y'all very much. Unfortunately, these are the realities of our family. But you know what? As we get to know what goes on, we are now then becoming a little bit more wise. Y'all need to travel a little bit more. Even travel around, man. Leave the city, leave the state for a bit. Get to know your gente. Any chance you get an older family, an older person that you know can talk to you. Try to learn from them. They have so much to say. I always try to do that. All right, fam? I'm going to go to 9 minutes, and then I'm going to stop at the 15th minute. Watch this lady here. This is to show y'all that not everybody has our best interest. Okay? And what may look like us may not be us. Like they say, not all Israel is Israel. All right? Here we go, fam. Take care. Shalom.
He endorses statehood. Not all former governors of Puerto Rico share his views. Former Governor Sila Calderon wrote a letter to President Biden making the case against Puerto Rico becoming a U.S. state. She joins me now. Governor Calderon, you disagree with former Governor Fortunio that Puerto Rico's only and best option is statehood. Why?
I definitely disagree, although I respect Governor Fortunio a lot. The reason I disagree is because Puerto Rico, even though we have a good relationship and a legal relationship with the United States, we are a different people. We are Hispanics. We have a different culture, different values. We do have our American citizenship, which we cherish, and the relationship with the states, but we want to be We want to be ourselves. We're not Americans. We're American citizens, but we're Puerto Ricans from Spanish ancestry.
Does this mean that you want to be independent? Is that the best option for Puerto Rico?
Not necessarily. We have a Commonwealth relationship with the United States based on a congressional law number 600, which allows us to have our own government, but still we're under the congressional power. So we would like our relationship of Commonwealth to evolve into a relationship that allows us not to be under the plenary powers of Congress, but to have our own government. We do have our own government, but our own independence or interdependence with the United States, rather.
But there was a referendum, as you know, in November, a non-binding referendum that you have questioned because you believe that 52% of people voting for statehood isn't enough. In your letter to the President and Vice President of the US, you and 2 other former governors wrote this. You say, statehooders have sought the support from liberals by framing statehood as a civil rights issue. By denying it to Puerto Ricans, their argument goes the US is denying them equality. But given the ebbs and flows of public opinion, the minimal majority of 52% obtained by statehood option allows for only one indisputable conclusion, that the people of Puerto Rico are divided on this issue. But if this had been a binding referendum, then 52% would have been enough for statehood, wouldn't it?
Well, first of all, it was not a binding. It's a hypothetical question, so I could not answer that. But the reason why there was a majority, because there were no other options. And people do cherish our relationship, our permanent relationship with the United States. I'm sure there would have been other options. They would have not had a majority. So the 2 questions, yes or no, leads to a lot of misunderstanding from the part of the voters.
But aren't there benefits, though, to statehoods? In your letter, you mentioned the economic consequences statehood could present for Puerto Ricans if the residents of the island have to pay both federal and local state taxes. But wouldn't statehood also help Puerto Rico with its public debts? Over $70 billion. Wouldn't statehood help Puerto Rico renegotiate its debt with the federal government?
Well, we're already renegotiating with the help of a board appointed by the President of the United States. So that's going to be renegotiated by next year. But you know, everything in life is not money. There are other values that are very important. And we want to be a self-sustained entity. We don't pay federal taxes. We don't vote in the elections. And we're happy as we are. So I think definitely statehood will never win a majority.
She's wealthy, as you guys know it. Look at that. Of course, it benefits you to be a Commonwealth because the wealthy then still kept state control. Whereas if America came in and became a statewide, now you're obligated to the white man. And you don't want to be because you are. At least that's my opinion. Because she said it herself. She didn't even say Taino or native. She said Spanish. Yep.
If the real options are offered to the people of Puerto Rico.
You say we're happy as we are, but is the status quo, though, tenable?
It's not a status quo. It is a status. We want to develop it. But if we were a state, that would be a status quo too. So we want a developed Commonwealth, and we believe we will achieve it eventually. It's going.
Hey, that's true. She is double talking because she's like, well, we want to be Commonwealth, but we still want the friendship. We want the power, but we don't necessarily want it. What it is the wealthy over there. She goes, I don't pay taxes. We don't pay taxes. It's all about the money, not about our gente. We're suffering, lacking water, food, resources, support. We're in debt. A lot of people in Puerto Rico are depending on assistance living. Then guess what? There's no jobs. Hello. Man, come on.
It will take a long time, but we will achieve it, definitely.
The current resident commissioner of Puerto Rico, the one person who actually represents the island in the US Congress, a Republican who supported Trump, has referred to the island as a US colony.
Hey sis, I'm gonna look into Aruba, okay? I promise you. I'm gonna look into it. Because I definitely want to know. I know the Dutch, they're still in there. Yeah, they're serpents, bro, for sure. Without a doubt. But I am gonna look into your island, sis.
And said that becoming a state wouldn't solve all of its issues. She says, right now, Congress decides the regulations of the air we breathe, the water we drink, and we do not have participation. She says she's the only member representing the island, and there are no senators. How is the most democratic country in the whole world going to fight for democracy in all corners? And then in your backyard, you still have a territory, you still have a colony. Do you agree with those words? Do you agree with those who call Puerto Rico a colony of the United States?
I do not agree with them because obviously she's very biased because she's a stateholder. But I do agree in the sense, the only way, the only aspect I agree is that we have to develop the status we have now. So we're not under the plenary powers of Congress. And I'm sure we'll be able to develop an arrangement, legal arrangement with the United States by which we can remain Puerto Ricans and still be associated with the United States. And some of the negative aspects that Commonwealth has now can be spoken, can be discussed, and can be solved.
Former Governor Sila Calderon.
As you can see, it doesn't change, right? And this is recent, a year ago, and it's still going on right now. It's still going on issues right now with OCA and the sister that I've been showing. They actually been collaborating. Anyhow, family, love y'all. Take care, man. Shalom. Again, this is my Sabbath. My Sabbath ends tonight. So all praises to the Most High for that. And y'all take care of yourselves. All right, love y'all and take care. Shalom.